Here, read this.
Woof.
Hello everybody, Ash here from the Ear Read This podcast. Now, as the title implies, Ear Read This is a recommendations podcast. I talk about books that I think are good and get into the ways in which I think they're good and the ways in which critics over the years have complimented them. But what if I'm talking from a false premise? What if I'm wrong about all of that and the books and the authors that I'm talking about are actually crap? Well, to try and confront a different point of view, today I'm going to have a quick look at some one-star reviews of William Shakespeare. So to kick off, let's talk about the next Shakespeare play I'll be talking about on the podcast, Richard III, and see what people made of that. I did not read this as it was accidentally deleted. However, there are many more copies available elsewhere. I would not be so presumptuous as to criticise a work by William Shakespeare anyway. Well, I hate to break it to you, Kindle customer, but you have criticised a work by William Shakespeare, and it's unclear whether you are giving it a low review because there are many copies available elsewhere, which is certainly true, or that it was accidentally deleted, presumably by you. Moving on, 1 star, boring. Don Beard gets straight to the point. Well, fair enough, it's the second longest play in the canon. Sure, some people find it boring. Don's one of them. 1 star, rubbish, by William. Well, he doesn't waste any time. Bought cassettes by mistake and of course have nothing to play them on. Check the small print, says Jackie. Check the small print on the book? Not really sure what's happened there. And like the earlier reviewer, it does seem like you're leaving a review of your mistake. This is an interesting work by an emerging author. I think he'll go far, but needs to work. No, I'm not going to be caught out that easily. This is clearly a satirical review, and I only want to stick to the absolutely serious ones. And let's see if we can find any in Henry V, a play that we have already covered on the podcast, link below. 1 star, says Sue. Didn't enjoy this film. Not a film, Sue. Overrated author, Anglo-focused, anti-French. Grammar could be improved. Otherwise, well printed, delivered on time, and a good read for those who hate the French. It certainly is a very anti-French play, Henry V, so if that irks you or offends you, then, fair point. Let's move on to Romeo and Juliet, the greatest love story ever told. Maybe we'll find a few more serious reviews here. Cheap. This William guy can't write for poo. He can't even go to the toilet. Soz. Brutal takedown from Side Aiken there. He's got a point. I mean, William Shakespeare can't go to the toilet. Not anymore, anyway. Disappointing. Don't get the hype. Couldn't really understand the words. Not sure why Shakespeare is one of the best authors of all time. Feel like making them both die was a bit of a cop-out. Feels like he was nearing the word limit on his GCSE English essay. Also, he took a risk by making it very dialogue-based, with almost no indication of the characters' thoughts, other than what they were saying, and I don't think it paid off. No, if you look back on the history of Romeo and Juliet and the amount of times it gets performed and where, I don't really think it paid off. Big risk, Shakespeare. Better luck next time. Here's a running theme, book DVD, says Angela. Story guide, but nit item I ordered to start with. I thought when I was ordering DVD that this would have been a DVD as well, not a book. Quite a lot of people seem to be thrown off by Amazon selling both books and DVDs. They're usually quite well labelled. The worldly Demi Daniels says she's seen it all before. Same story I've heard a million times before. They should really try and do something new with this. Very boring. No pictures of Leonardo DiCaprio either. Overall, not a pleasant experience. Well, fair enough. Romeo and Juliet is a very well-known story, and it was when Shakespeare wrote it. He was borrowing from sources too, so yeah, Demi's got a point. It's good, I enjoyed it, but it did not have the Capulet party in the book. But in the film, there was a great party, says party fan Pardeep. Oh no, sorry, he's a Liverpool fan, but a party fan as well. There is a party in the play. This book doesn't contain the entire story of Romeo and Juliet. It's a play kind of book. We have to read the play instead of the story. Instead of the story, the play sort of is the story. But if you were expecting a novel, then I can see why you were disappointed. Book is in British English. I ordered a normal English book. Please help. By most people's standards, the play is not written in normal English anyway, so I fear whatever copy you end up owning, you're going to be disappointed. It is a stage script book, not a novel. You cannot read it. I mean, yeah, you can't read it. It's a stage script book. I thought it would be like a novel, but it turned out to be a play. Only literature people can understand that. Yeah, and most of them are only pretending they can. The pages were wet, came ruined. 1 star. Pages were wet? I mean, I would leave a 1-star review of any book if the pages were wet when it arrived. Presumably in the packaging if you ordered it off Amazon as well. How? And then finally, Tina, this is a play, not a book. Some people would say those two things are not mutually exclusive, but not Tina. CDs do not play. Oh, here we go. I purchased these CDs twice. Both copies did not play. I tried several CD players to be certain that it was not a player malfunction. No, it won't be a player malfunction. I fear the reason they won't play is because you've bought books, and I would recommend that you take those out of your CD players if you've left them in there before you start a fire, Andrew. 1 star, a bit heavy for me. Yeah, someone else said this. Let's go over to Carol Crane. It was far too heavy in weight for me. I returned it. Carol left this review on the complete works of William Shakespeare, which, yeah, I mean, that's going to be quite heavy. It's the complete works. I mean, even from the picture, you can tell that's going to stop a door. Let's look at some more reviews from the complete works of William Shakespeare. Bought for a student as a present. Very pleased with it. 1 star. This is the top critical review of the complete works of Shakespeare. Book covered in mud. My item arrived on time, outer packaging fine. Sadly, the book itself was covered in mud. The front cover was covered in mud, and I wiped it off and thought to myself that should be fine once I wiped it. Sadly, then I looked at the side of the book, page side up, and the majority of the pages are covered too. For a brand new book, I'm extremely disappointed. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd normally return this, however I need to read the book for a virtual audition I have soon. Oh God. With all the germs lurking at the moment, it really doesn't feel like a fresh new book. Covered in mud. Yeah, all the germs. This was written in 27th of June 2020. You'd be very germ conscious. For my sins, I've ordered quite a few books off Amazon, and I've never had one arrive covered or even slightly sprinkled in mud. So, yeah, I'd be fuming at that. To finish up with, let's have a few Midsummer Night's Dream reviews. Surely this is Shakespeare's most widely appreciated, most likeable play. Nope, piece of shit, says Sarika. Dumb, says Ethan. And Ruth, 1 star. Shakespeare is not for me. Well, that's fair enough. If Shakespeare's not for you, you can't not respect that. And if your Shakespeare books come covered in mud or soaking wet, then you can't blame that either. Maybe this is the wrong video to say that my podcast is available for star ratings as well. Please don't leave any satirical ones saying that your podcast came covered in mud. If you've enjoyed any recent episodes on Shakespeare or otherwise, a positive review is always handy. That's it for today. I might try and round up a few more of these because this was fun. But that's all for now. Until next time, happy reading.